So, hello, I am with a high school sophomore student and his father, and I'm going to read out the informed consent. They would like to remain anonymous. I have the father present just because since this student is a minor, I just want to make sure that the father knows what he's signing up for, and I've gotten consent from both. So I want to thank you for your interest in participating in this important oral history project. This project is organized by the Public History Program in collaboration with the McIntyre Library's Special Collections and Archives Department at the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire. Your participation will help us build a resource for future generations to understand the impacts of COVID-19 on the Chippewa Valley and Wisconsin. So I want to say thank you to our interviewee. And also, I would like to just get a verbal consent from the father to make sure that this is okay, that his student is conducting this interview. So again, I just have the father of the student just to make sure that he also looked at the consent forms and just verify that he is okay with his student conducting this interview.
I am okay with him being interviewed.
Okay, thank you. And if we're ready to go, I will get right to the interview. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. So, as a sophomore in high school, has it changed a lot since last year, or was last year kind of similar to what's going on now?
It's a little bit different, but I mean, as time goes on, we become a little bit more uncertain on what's to come. So our schedules change and adjust. It is different though. Last year was a little bit free, a little bit loose. You could kind of do homework in class whenever you want, but now we actually follow a strict schedule like we were in school.
Right. So, how have you been dealing with all of this craziness going on? Have you been doing okay at home, or?
Uh, I mean, the social part of it is kind of um downputting, I guess.
Mhm.
But any other way, I can still easily call up my friends or play games with them, video games, and we can still connect. But otherwise, it's pretty much just the same. It doesn't affect anything else but my social life.
So, socially, have you been able to go out with your friends and do some of the similar things that you used to do before COVID, or has it been pretty restricting?
Um, Whenever the activities get bigger than 15, then it has affected. But as far as hanging out with friends, that hasn't really changed a lot.
Well, that's good to hear. Good to see that you're getting some social interaction. So, what has all of this been like for you as a high schooler? And you're a sophomore. Freshman year was, I believe, half and half for you, and now it's full time online. So, how is it as a sophomore?
Not bad. I'm not mad at all because this hasn't really affected any of my first as a freshman, and hopefully it won't affect my last as a senior. So really, I've been fine.
How have you been dealing with the classes? Are the classes going well, or?
They're a little bit hard because they try to jam pack the normal amount of content we would get in a single week in just a couple of classes. So it has been challenging, but since we get a lot of time, it kind of balances that out a little bit.
Nice. And with all the schooling being online, do you feel overwhelmed with it? Do you feel, man, I feel like I could be doing so much more? Or how do you feel in terms of workload?
It feels just about the same. Like I said, they kind of condense everything, but they also give you enough time to deal with that properly.
Right. And have the teachers been pretty um, not lenient, but have they been willing to work with you since it is all online and it is a new platform for you and for them? So have they been willing to work with you if you have issues?
Yeah, they have a couple of things they do to make sure that people get the right amount of help.
Right. So enough about school. What have you been doing ever since this quarantine? Have you been living the life about the same? I mean, you've been going out to do anything fun with friends? How has it impacted your life in general?
Um, well, I mean, I really like before this, I love to watch movies with my family in the theater, like new ones. You'd see trailers and you get excited, but I guess now it's all been to whatever I can find in my house, which is kind of lame, kind of boring. And I mean, yeah, that's about it.
Okay. So overall, COVID really impacted your life considerably, would you say?
Not really. Um, I'll come out of this fine. I mean, it's not something I'll easily forget for sure, but um, hasn't really changed my view on things. Although they have limited certain things that I can do, it doesn't really affect me severely.
Hmm. So, has anything good come out of COVID for you? Has there been kind of like a shining, a shining star that you've been, um, that you've gotten out of this, where it could be an advancement in something, or just something that you've actually kind of found enjoyable during all this?
Um, I'm not sure. Um, I guess I've had more time to practice some skills that I learned from school, and I don't know. I think definitely the shining star for me would be the time I get with my family. I got a lot of it since I'm at home, and I guess being away from school. I mean, I'm not a very like entirely social person, so kind of being in my house and not in school every day kind of was a relief.
So, if you were back in school, what social activities would you be doing?
Well, I mean, we'd be all around the lunch table telling each other what we did in class and stuff. Uh, but I mean, yeah, you just get to see your friends, what they're doing in class. Um, and I guess it's easier for learning.
So, has COVID taken away any like extracurricular activities from you that you would have been doing at this time?
Not entirely. I don't do any sports, but I did hear that my buddy is running, still kind of running cross. So for me, no, but um, for sports players, I think it has a lot.
Well, so what about you? Like, are there any other hobbies or um, other things that you used to do? And it doesn't have to be a sport. It could be a club or um, a band, choir, um, any of the other extracurricular activities that isn't a sport. Have those impacted you at all?
Um, yeah, like um, I mean, I used to play pep band for the basketball team, the football team, and I mean, it's not something major. It's something just fun that I get to do. I get to play and then watch the game. So I mean, I guess that's been affected because now I don't see a lot of sports being played.
So, are you still playing though? Are you still practicing for? Because who knows when this will be over? that they might come back in the spring or next year? Have you been practicing to keep up for when they do come back?
Yeah, I have, and they make sure that we do as well, because it's not something, like I said, that they kind of let loose. It's still kind of, they want to replicate the idea of school, except without the social part of it.
Hmm. So how has that been for you? With because obviously it's all virtual. So how has playing virtual been for you?
It's been all right. Some tools have been made available to us to allow us to uh, not exactly normal, but kind of play normal and practice to the point where we can get better just as if we were in regular school.
So go into a little more about these virtual band sessions because obviously, the instructor's not going to have everyone play at once because that would just, I feel like that would just be information overload. And so do each of you play individually for him and show your progress, or how does that work with the individual sessions?
Right now, it's a mix. Like sometimes he'll say, "Okay, go off and practice this part," because we still get pieces. Um, so he'll say, "Go practice, this group of measures by yourself," or there's an app called Upbeat where a lot of us can record and then sync it so we can play together as if we were all together playing band. So it's really a mix, but those are the most common things.
Nice. And what instrument are you playing right now that you're focusing on?
French horn and trumpet.
Nice. Very nice. Which one's your favorite?
Trumpet.
Trumpet's your favorite?
Yeah, it's easier to play.
Easier to play. So, well, that's good. That's good to hear that you're getting some social interaction, at least with your teachers. And it sounds like you're getting enough social interaction with your friends as long as it's under 15 people. So, how many people have do you know of have either had COVID or you've heard that someone has had COVID? Is it pretty significant or is it kind of a small number where you can count them on one hand?
Um, Not sure. I've heard people have gotten it from school, but no one close to me, none of my friends, none of my family.
Well, that's good to hear. So, what about family life for you? How's family life been?
Well, it's been nice because I've been able to see my brother more, which is pretty cool. It gets lonely around the house. My mom works. My dad works a little bit, so it's nice to have a full house again.
So, are you home alone for the majority of the time?
No, me and my dad usually see each other a lot, but I mean, I'd say at least half the day I am by myself.
And what do you usually do for that half of the day?
Well, I would do school. I would do schoolwork. If it was a rare occasion on the weekend, I'd play video games with my friends, or I'd go on a call.
Nice. So, when it's not school time, so mainly on the weekends, what would you say your life is? Is it pretty wide open or I mean, obviously with all the restrictions that are put in place, you're restricted in that sense, but is it still pretty wide open to what you are capable of doing?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
So what would you say is like an average Saturday and Sunday for you?
Uh, I wake up, I eat breakfast, I shower. I usually try to finish my schoolwork on Saturday, um, and then I have the whole day open to me. And then Sunday, I sleep in for however long I want and repeat.
Nice. So, what is one thing outside of the house that you've been kind of doing to just get out of the house? Or, I mean, it could be anything, but is there something that you do commonly that just to get out of the house? Because what I've been hearing so far is that you're trapped, not trapped, but you're in the house a lot. So, is there an activity or something that you like to do just to get out of the house?
I go on white on I go on walks. I bike sometimes, and if I notice my parents are making a trip somewhere like the store or making an errand run, I'll I'll go with them just to get out to see what the outside world is like.
Are you surprised sometimes when you step out into the light? Are you surprised of certain things being there or not being there?
I don't know. I mean, not really sure. It seems like the world just goes on the same, which kind of makes it weird. Feels like everyone's cooped up in their house, but at the same time, the world is moving just the same.
So you would say that the world it's changed obviously, but it hasn't changed a whole lot.
Right, right.
Hmm. Well, that's interesting. Let's see. Hmm. So with COVID, would you say that this has been a good experience? Like, obviously, it's not a good experience, but a good learning experience for you. As I mean, you went from in-person class to now virtual class. Would you say that experience has been good?
Uh, hard to
I,
say.
I guess I guess the real question is, do you prefer in-person classes or do you prefer virtual classes?
Again, hard to say. I almost forgot what in-person class felt like. Um, but I mean, I don't know. I really can't say. They both have their trades, their trade-offs, and their benefits. Right
What would you
now,
go
um,
ahead? Sorry.
that's all right. I was gonna say that I think in like virtual is nice because I get more time with people.
Hmm. What would so would that be your main benefit of doing virtual classes? Is that time with people, I guess?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I meant family. Sorry, that
Oh,
kind of
with your
slipped out.
family? Okay, that's okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
So what would be the main benefit of virtual class? Not looking at the family aspect of just virtual. What would you say some of the benefits are?
I get more time to do work, meaning I get more time to do things around the house or with friends.
Okay. So what would be some of the negatives of virtual class that you've experienced so far?
Um, it can have its short spikes of stress for me. Um, sometimes I'll absolutely load the week with work, and that can be stressful. But I think that's it.
So speaking of stress, how have you been dealing with all of this? Is there an outlet that you go to just kind of relieve some stress or just to get away from all the schoolwork, all the COVID things that are going on?
Yeah, either I talk to friends or um, listen to music, stuff like that.
Hmm. What would you say your favorite genre of music is?
Classic rock, I think.
Classic rock. Heck yeah. Do you have a favorite song?
No, there's too many.
Too many? Nice. So music and talking with friends are your main outlet, but on a personal note for you, how have you been dealing with, mental health has been kind of a big issue on the rise. How have you been dealing with that? Um, yeah, I guess how have you been dealing with your mental health during these times?
Uh, I guess just sucking it in. Um, I don't know.
So when you say sucking it in, does that mean you're holding it in and just
Yep, just biting my cheek
waiting for the
and
dam to break, or?
not necessarily. I don't know. It's more as if like I'm biting my cheek and moving on. Like this is gonna pass, and I'm not really too worried about my mental health because I don't think this is gonna be forever.
Mhm. So mental health wise, you're doing good, would you say?
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Doing okay. Well, well, I'm glad that you're doing okay and not suffering from any of the mental health issues, because I'm sure I've been talking to some of my other friends and it's been kind of running rampant right now just because everyone's cooped up. But I'm happy to hear that you are doing well and that you are not really suffering from any mental health issues at the moment. So, all right. Let's see. So, with COVID, I guess obviously you're a sophomore, so you're thinking about maybe getting a job, because I know for me around sophomore, junior year of high school is when I was really starting about thinking about getting a job. Would Have you been looking into getting a job and trying to excel or just make a little money or just excel as a person during this time? Have you been looking?
No, I've been really busy with schoolwork and things outside of school that have been taking my time. And
Mm,
I don't think this is the time to get a job. I think anything that's not a essential business is kind of suffering a little bit, and I really
mhm,
don't want to do. I feel like those essential businesses or whatever are really fast, and I really don't want to throw myself into a kind of. I mean, I feel like it'd be a high stress situation if you were to look at like fast food and stuff like that.
mhm. Haven't thought about it at all. So have you been doing any chores or jobs around the house to maybe make a little bit of money? Because you were saying earlier that with online classes that you have a little bit more time on your hands. So have you been doing other things around the house to maybe earn a little bit of money?
No, not really. I don't really need the money right now. So I mean, I have been doing chores to answer your question,
Okay.
but not really to get money.
Mm. Just to help out the family.
Indeed.
So, well, I think that is all the questions I have for you. And I want to thank you so much for conducting this interview. It's been very insightful, and I'm happy that you agreed to do this.
No problem. Anything to help.
All right. So thank you so much again, and you have a wonderful day.
You too.